to pursue him. Two sources declined to identify the other two teams that are interested in him. So we're talking again about his future. And Stephen A., I will start with you first. Do you expect him to play in the NFL again?
I do expect him to play in the NFL again. I think he should play in the NFL again. I'm happy that he was reinstated. I think America is the land of second chances. We all make mistakes. Let's move forward. With that being said, I definitely don't believe that. I'm glad the reports came out that New Orleans was not interested in him, because that made absolutely no sense whatsoever with Thomas, with Ingram, and those guys there. Carolina to me makes no sense, because they're going nowhere this year. There's nothing anybody can do to help that situation at this particular moment in time. The Atlanta Falcons may be of some interest. We're talking about a guy that prior to last year, I think had, if I remember correctly, 4 consecutive 1,200-plus yard seasons, if I remember correctly, or at least 3 straight 1,200-plus yard seasons before rushing for 1,100 yards in the 2012 season. The biggest problem Ray Rice has right now, Skip, as far as I'm concerned, is that he's not a big-time player based on what we saw last season. This dude historically averaged over 4 yards a carry out of the backfield for the Baltimore Ravens for 4 to 5 consecutive years, and then nosedive last season, rushing for 660 yards, averaging about 3.1 yards a carry. Several games during last season, he was absolutely positively anemic. And so the question remains as to how much he has left, because he does have over 1,400 carries in his career. That doesn't seem to be an awful lot. But at age 27, he clearly appeared to have taken a step back. So you've got to ask yourself what teams are going to take a chance on him. If indeed somebody was willing to do so this year, I believe the Atlanta Falcons would be the ideal situation. But if I were Ray Rice, you know what I'd do? Especially if you're getting your money because you've been reinstated, and the money that you would do to earn this year, you're getting. I'm not sure that's accurate, but somebody needs to double check that for me. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case. If that's the case, if I'm Ray Rice, I get myself in peak condition, and then you know what I expend my energy doing? I beg Bisciotti and the Baltimore Ravens to take me back. Those people, you got to remember, and Janae Palmer Rice said this to Jamel Hill. She talked about how Ray Rice was never had any issues in the past of a negative variety, and was primarily known as a dude that was a heavy contributor to the community. I think that when we saw in the aftermath of this whole incident, we saw people, females even, with Ray Rice jerseys outside of Baltimore Ravens games. I think that community would, if anybody were going to forgive him and try to give him a second chance, it would be that community. And I think he should pick up the phone and beg Bisciotti to take him back, because this is a guy, no matter how we feel about it, behind closed doors, secretly, clandestinely, reached out to Ray Rice and let him know that I have every intention of keeping you as a part of this Ravens organization for many years to come. And in order for Ray Rice to defend himself, he basically dimed the guy out by acknowledging that he had text messages from him saying that he was going to be supportive of him. To me, I think Ray Rice needs to get on the phone, beg him for forgiveness, and to bring him back within the Ravens organization, because of all the places out there, I think that would be the place most forgiving with him.
You sure that bridge is not burned?
Yeah.
I'm not. I just finished saying, I'm not sure. That would be up to Bisciotti. But if Bisciotti was willing to forgive him, I think the community would embrace his return. I think his teammates would embrace his return. I think Ozzie Newsome, would embrace his return. It's all about the owner.
Okay. Do you remember how many times last year on Monday mornings you brought up how perplexed you were about Ray Rice's decline? You wondered out loud if he were hurt, or if he just sort of lost his edge, or whatever. As you point out, he had those monsters. This was a really good, this is a 3-time Pro Bowl running back we're talking about, and those starting in 2009 to go 13-39, 12-20, 13-64, and then even 11-43 and 12. It was a lot of yards. And then, almost inexplicably, in just 15 games a year ago, 660 yards with an average of 3.1, which is not even mediocre. And you wonder what happened. Is it just another classic case of the running back hitting age 27 and just declining quickly? I don't know. So back to the question, Kerry's question. Yeah, he should get a second chance. I'm just not sure he will get a second chance. I will be surprised if anybody picks him up for the rest of this year. I will not be surprised if somebody brings him to camp next year on a make-good basis, like show us what you got left, give him some reps, give him some carries in some preseason games. I just don't know what he has left in that tank. I don't know what happened. I don't know how much this took out of him. Now, he continues to say he's still in peak shape, so I don't know that shape is going to be the issue. But you know what happens when you're away from the game for an entire year, then who knows if you can get back into the flow of it, into the game speed of it. I don't know. And there is, for any team that's going to keep him, they're going to have to deal with the attendant publicity, obviously. Again, a lot of teams will be just fine with that. But are you with me? I'm going to be surprised if somebody gives him a shot now for the rest of this year.
I don't believe anybody is going to give him a shot this year, and I don't think they should. Because either you're a losing team and you don't really need him, or you're a winning team and you don't need that attention and that kind of publicity at this juncture.
Right.
So I think this year is shot, and I don't think that it's one of those situations where it needs to be about this year. But I do think next year, I would like to see somebody pick him up and give him the opportunity. My personal opinion is that even though I think this kid Forsett is better than Ray Rice,
he is right now. Yep, sure.
I've seen guys get injured and miss most, if not all, of a season and come back healthy. Well, Ray Rice wasn't injured.
Nope.
He had this dispute to deal with, but he didn't get hurt. So I think the year off, from a physical perspective, helps him, to be quite honest with you. But I still think that ultimately he should get on the phone and beg Bisciotti to give him another chance and to bring him back because it really, really wasn't necessary for him to dime out the billionaire owner that was actually trying to help him.
Yep.
Stephen A., you asked if he got his money back. He does not, because the contract was terminated, but because of the latest grievance filing when it was reversed, he could pursue the money if he wanted to. We don't know if he's going to do that, but he could pursue the monies left on that old contract. Coming up next.